great to be here with you today. I hope you've been really, really well. Thank you everyone for, first of all, your patience since last week. I was sick, and thank you so much for your amazing messages to get well and so on. I really appreciate it. It's amazing to receive such a great amount of support and care and love. So thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. So today we have several questions. I'm not sure if we'll have time to go through everything today, but we'll do our best. So let's get into it. Question number one. I am so tired of feeling unworthy and unlovable. When I was young, my mother and my sister, who is 10 years older than me, never showed me any love. My mother once took me to a busy market when I was 4 and left me for half an hour. I was so scared, I couldn't move or ask for help. She showed up, I tried to hug her and cry. She pushed me off and said, "What are you crying for?" I came back, didn't I? I don't know how to get through this. I'm an INFP. I'm so sorry you had to have that experience. That kind of abandonment can really affect you for a lot of your life, and for those of us who've experienced this kind of a situation, it stays with you forever. So I want to acknowledge that this is a tough one. Thank you for sharing that question with us, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that. In terms of working through it, in terms of just coming out at the other side of that pain can be really challenging. And I want to say to you, I want to speak straight to you and say, thank heavens, not every person is like your mother and your sister. So I'm so sorry for your experience. I would like, thank you for trusting us with this. I'd like to just say it takes a lot of courage to even just say that, to even ask that question. And for you to just go there and say it, I want to work through this, I want to get through this, shows a huge amount of courage. And it says a lot about your spirit. And it's a privilege to have this interaction with you. Thank you for trusting me. So with those kinds of abandonment issues, one of the biggest problem with it is that because it's so profound, it can really affect all of your life, even like well beyond the ending of that particular occurrence. So something like this traumatic happens, and you carry it with you. And the challenge with that is that while it's really understandable that you carry it with you, God knows I've been carrying so much with me for so long. The challenge then becomes that we begin to, we normalize it. It's like that's the normal thing. That's the normal way that I deserve to be treated, or that's the normal way that everybody's going to treat me. And that, of course, neither one of those things is true. You don't deserve to be treated that way, and everybody doesn't treat you that way. But the problem is, because the pain, the wounding was so profound, it's easy to carry it with you, and it's easier to be afraid of that pain. Guard yourself from that pain by kind of yielding away from situations of closeness and so on with people and trust, than it is to face this monster, because that's what it is. It's a monster that is holding you captive from the life that you actually do want to live. It sounds to me, as a survivor of PTSD and CPTSD, I can really relate to what you're feeling, in particular around the lack of care or lack of duty of care and abandonment issues. And it is very normal to have triggerings come up throughout your life with this, right? It's quite possible you have post-traumatic stress around this, or even complex post-traumatic stress disorder, because this wasn't necessarily just one-time occurrence. From your question, it appears that these people weren't really interested in you as the person that you are. And the way that we work through these kinds of situations, is that we take it one moment at a time, remind ourselves that right now we're safe, right now nobody can hurt me. And by saying that the others were wrong, there isn't anything wrong with me for having that kind of a reaction. So if you go into your inner parenting mode, so if you're familiar, I hope you're familiar with the 4 people within work, where as an INFP, your inner parent is your outward facing intuition or your pioneer. And that inner parent actually, when present, has the power to look for new ways to get through this and look for better ways to live. But until that inner parent pioneer is activated and is taking charge and is able and enjoys the trust of the inner children will continue to hold on to the pain, because that is what has kept them safe for so long. So for your question, I wish I could just give you a short answer and just say, do this, don't do that. Because your situation is so complex and so long-standing, I really encourage you to get in touch with the office, desk@infxproject.com. I will see your email and I will put you in touch with one of our qualified mentors just to do an exploration call. They will ask you more questions around what happened. They'll ask you how this has affected your life. What are the things in your life that you're missing out on? Those kinds of they'll take a deeper dive into this with you. And if you reach out to us, I'll make sure that they won't charge you for your exploration call. So I just want to say I'm so sorry that you've had this experience, and that, thank you for trusting us with it, and please get in touch so we can start unraveling this pain that has clearly affected you for a really, really long time. So I hope that helps. Please know you're not alone with this. And overcoming something like this means that you're going to have to transform your trust issues with other people. And that can be really hard. And that's why a lot of people don't ever overcome wounding like this. If you don't feel like working with a mentor, find a friend that you trust and respect who can help you start uncovering this. But please know that if they're not a professional person, they are likely to unconsciously bring their own stuff into it. So I really encourage you to get in touch with the office and let us help you through this. This is so painful, but it is overcomable. I have personally overcome it. Many of the mentors that work with me have overcome this exact issue. not at fault with, with the details, but this kind of abandonment and feelings of unworthiness and not being lovable. So you're not alone. Please get in touch with us. Okay, I hope that helps. If you have more comments or questions around that, please put them into the comment section. Because it's such a complicated issue, and because it probably has PTSD related to it or attached to it, doing it over like this on the video is not going to give you as much support as you can get with talking to an actual person on a kind of, on an actual call. Okay, thank you for that question, and thank you for trusting us with this.